Oh my gosh, Katie, I'm so excited you're here. I haven't seen you in forever. Well, I saw you yesterday, but before that,
Far too long.
what a great career journey you and I have had together. When I met you, you were at Hills. You did a stint at another company, and now you're at Barrett and Stokely with kind of an icon in the podcasting world, Courtney.
Yes.
What's Courtney's last name again?
Smith.
Okay, yeah, Courtney Smith. She is a fellow redhead and also has a podcast. And you and I have had like this crazy journey of working together on these shows. Originally, we worked on Renter Obsessed together, and you hosted a few episodes and came along with me on this journey to life after leasing. But I'm just really impressed with everything that you've done in this industry and these connections you've made. So,
Well, I mean, it all started when I met you. So
I know that was like a pivotal night, right? I know that was the night that right after that, I decided to start doing this.
I told everyone, I was like, I met Sydney one night. We were talking about her session from AIM, and she's like, I'm going to start a podcast. You want to be a part of it? And I was like, absolutely. Count me in.
Well, I was like, if I did this, do you think people would show up? Would you show up to this?
Every time.
Yeah. And I think that there's this special thing that happens at these conferences, and we get this incredible time together and everyone's friends. And then we all go home and we all get lonely. And I mean, you go into an office, I'm fully remote. But even still, like all of our people are spread across the entire country. And just like the ability to create a community digitally as much as we can.
Yeah. With all the talk of, AI and the metaverse and all of this that we've kind of gone and heard about at the conference, having our little Zoom meetings and creating our podcast and at least getting to see our faces every once a week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Makes it worth it.
I know. I have this prediction. I feel like it's already kind of happening to me. And I use AI every single day. I'm an early adopter. I love technology. I love playing it. I love learning new things. But there comes a point where like, my brain is overstimulated and I just need to get back to real things, real tangible things, real people. I think that's really powerful. And, that's what's so special about our industry. We can talk about AI all day and we can add all this technology, but at the end of the day, we're humans selling homes to humans.
Yeah. Someone in one of the sessions was like, I can't see a world where like AI or the metaverse replace it, getting in an airplane and coming here. And I don't think it's about replacing these like human. I think it's enhancing, right? Yeah. So I think about the rest of my team who couldn't make it. But if there was a metaverse platform where they could still join from home and have the same experience, just not be in person. I mean, there's so much valuable information at these conferences and, each person takes away something different. So I'm going to go back and share with my team what I've learned here. But had they been here, they may have picked up something different. And so I think, where the world is going, I think everyone's going to have the opportunity to kind of be a part of this, whether they're halfway across the country or here in person.
No more FOMO.
Yeah. Personally, I will never not come.
Yeah.
I will always be here in person if I always have the chance. But even like with another one, the session's coming up, like, scheduling conflicts and I can't make the next one. And it is breaking my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to learn about your business and there's so much stimulation. There's so much technology talk. There's so many options in this industry. Like, there's some really good founders creating really good tech. How is your team at Barrett and Stokely, or even like in any of the companies you've worked for over the years, how are you sifting through all of these options and identifying what is the right fit for your business?
Yeah, I think I've had at a couple of different companies, different aspects of it, right? So people who were trying to limit logins because you've got a login for this and a login for that. Yes. And I understand making it easier on a team, but then sometimes I feel like you get pigeonholed into a company that does a lot of things good, but nothing great, right?
Yeah, you can't do it all.
Yeah, we've got all of these different vendors here that really have mastered some of these. I think it's finding that right balance of what specifically our company needs, that great product in, balancing it with some of the other ones that we're able to, maybe cut back or, work with the good or make the good great for us. But I think, some of the things that I've heard at this conference, a lot's coming in the very near future that's going to help us manage the great platforms altogether where we don't have to settle anymore.
Yeah. So let's say, so I know that because you're my friend, and you discover a lot of things here at these conferences, which not everybody gets to go to. We're very fortunate.
Oh, yes.
And there's also a lot of the year where we're not here, like when we're actually like back home doing our job.
Right.
How are you building your short list? How are you discovering these? How are you evaluating all these options?
By need. So one of our main focus right now is video. We're working pretty closely with RealLink and trying to figure out like how I can even advance our partnership with them. It's going to become a part of what I bring to our on-site teams. So not a lot of people are comfortable like recording the videos because they just get afraid that this is going to go out on their website and they want it to be perfect, but our prospects don't want perfect. They want authentic. And
they want to see the actual unit,
not the floor plan,
not the beautiful,
yes,
rendering or whatever.
Yes. Not the perfect apartment that no one's ever lived in. They want to know exactly what they're getting. And, so that's kind of where I take that customer experience and some of these vendor partners and I merge them together and help our on-site teams understand the value.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of work for us, them, and everyone in between, but up front, then we can kind of reap the rewards of our hard work.
So obviously we love RealLink. We were at the bar yesterday, like pulling up the app on your phone and showing me all of it. And, I'm a big fan of it because you can track when people like come up, how often they watch it. There's just a lot of intent data that you just can't get on YouTube when everything's anonymized. Like you can actually see what the renter's doing. But tell me about your process for rolling this technology out. Like what you mentioned earlier, another log and another dashboard. And when I started as a leasing agent, the only other jobs I had were like hat and apron jobs. And I never sat down. I never had a computer for work. And to have like all this technology thrown at you, how are you getting buy-in early and making sure your teams are successful with it?
Yeah, I think, so using RealLink to create videos to help them understand how to use RealLink, right? No one wants a one-sheeter. I could send a million emails. I could put, messages on Teams but I know they're not going to read it. They're busy. They have, like you said, we're juggling a million things in the air. But if I make them a 30-second video that's like, hey, this process is coming. This is how we're going to handle it. Here's how to, find your resources, and reach out to me for more help. So video internally, externally, it's how I think our teams are going to be the most successful. And then I am going to try to implement like an open office hours, right? So not everyone has the time to put on their calendar to have another Zoom meeting to learn how to use this process. But if we get them the video, they get out there and test it. And then I open up my calendar where I'm going to be sitting on Teams video, whether there's somebody in there or not. Yeah. I'll be working on my day. But if somebody pops in and they're like, hey, we were just working on this, help me navigate it. Or we had this idea to create this video, but we can't really put the whole process together. Again, if you're there, they'll ask the questions. Whereas I feel like a lot of times, like our on-site teams just kind of find workarounds that ultimately waste more time.
Yeah, that's true for sure. How can your vendor partners do the heavy lifting for you when it comes to all this? How can we make implementations more successful?
Connect me with other clients who've worked well or you've had great rollouts with. Yes, I know that we're all competitors.
Yeah, but we all share information anyway. We're all friends.
And that's the thing is that, I'm going to learn from them. I want to know how their process went. I talked about, doing internal workshops for creating some of these videos where I'll go to a property that has a little bit more availability, and then I'll divide the team and say, everyone go create a video. We'll come back together. We'll edit it together. Now that whole property is going to have all of their videos done, and all of the teams are going to feel more confident to go back. So I talked about this, and RealLink is like, I need to connect you with this other partner of ours who took the onboarding on themselves. And I think they're going to have a lot of suggestions on how you can make this more successful too, right? So we just got to help each other and giving us the right connections. the biggest small industry or the smallest big industry in the world, right?
It's wild to me.
Connect me to all the right people.
Yeah. I've noticed for so many years this everyone's I guess everyone's a competitor, like, but whatever.
Yeah.
This industry on the operator side particularly for years has been so open with their process, what's working, what's not working. We're at these conferences, we teach each other everything we learn. There's just so much transparency. And something I've noticed in the last couple of years that I'm very happy about is you're seeing the exact same thing on the vendor side.
Great.
Technology vendors, whether they have some overlap, are finding ways to partner and be open with each other and learn from each other. We're seeing a lot of that in the Revise community. There are channels just for vendor marketers or vendor salespeople who literally are competitors in a call with each other saying, oh, this worked or this didn't work. I tried this experiment and these were my results, and just like complete open book. It's so special. And ultimately, the result of it is stronger integration.
Yeah.
Finding way. I was talking to RealLink yesterday, like, what if we put into Updater a welcome video into the workflow?
Yes.
And like these ideas that come up that would never happen if we weren't so open and transparent with each other, and like understanding what each other's products do and finding ways to slot it in, because it creates such a better experience for you as an operator, but also for a renter.
And I think it's going to open up more opportunities for our vendor the more you integrate with everyone. So, like, again, great, not good. And Relink is great at this, which pushes to ingrain, which also can go to our lead nurture so that now our automated assistant can send out the videos based off of the requests of the prospects, and the transparency and just working together, customer experience, resident experience, operator experience. It's so important, and we're slowly getting there.
I think it's going pretty fast at this point.
Well, yeah, I still think we're behind the ball a little bit as an industry. Just,
but we're on their heels.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So speaking of which, what are your predictions, or what do you have your eye on when it comes to technology over the next year or so? There's you don't have to name a specific company, but like ideas, concepts.
I think it's going to go back to the being able to utilize all of the great and merge them together and have one place where they're all located, and not just on the operator side, but like the renter side as well. Because, they talk about you've got your portal login, and then maybe you have a rewards login, and nothing all syncs together. But again, the easy access to everything and the additions that can be added. And there's so much more that we want to do, but adding another login, adding another concept or another practicality that our residents are going to have to learn just isn't always as practical as we want it to be. And so I think the merging and everyone kind of playing in the same sandbox is going to help us achieve a lot more in terms of like the technologies and the things that we can offer our residents.
Absolutely. Actually, a couple months ago, Revise announced a partnership with Perpexo. And Perpexo is basically like the connective tissue between your core software and everybody else.
Yeah.
Because integrations are so critical, but they're really hard to maintain. Like, there's some engineers in the background doing some crazy shit. Like, they're not easy. And they partnered with Perpexo because when you're shopping on Revise, when you are identifying like what works for your business, the first question you have to ask is like, is this going to integrate with my current tech stack? Because if it doesn't, like, I can't do this. Right. Because then your teams have another thing to log into. And so they've badged it. So like if I go onto RealLink's listing, I can see everyone that they work with. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it's definitely happening. I think you're right.
It just opens so many doors.
Yeah.
So many opportunities.
Absolutely.
And the abilities that we're going to have to just skyrocket everything is just... And I think it's going to give even the people who haven't had the opportunity to have a huge tech stack the opportunity to have more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was really exciting. Do you have any final thoughts for the audience of life after leasing and Revise?
Well, I know that we've talked a lot of technology, But I've been asked the question quite a bit, like, what's your focus? So I'm our director of resident experience. And to me, it has been one of those things where we're coming out of that like golden age of leasing where our leasing consultants didn't really have to sell, right?
Yeah, I was one of those at one point. Yeah, I remember when it was real easy.
We have to make them salespeople again.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've been in the industry 2-3 years now, but they've just had, I don't want to say had it easy.
No.
But now there's just so much more opportunity for apartments and kind of getting back out there and getting them to understand like, and the keynote said it best yesterday, you don't have to be the best, you just have to be their favorite. And I think that that's going to be my new motto, right? Like there's always going to be something newer, something bigger, something closer to this, right? But like, what is it that's going to make us their favorite? And I think that's one of those pieces that's really resonated and I'm going to take home and just really kind of pound into the teams.
I love that. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be their favorite.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Something to live by.
Yeah, right.
For any person in sales, any person in marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Katie. I had a great time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm sure we'll do this again.
Oh, 100%.